Hi all, really excited about this one. Met some lovely clients at the Malvern show last year. It's almost a year to the day when this video is released. And they approached me and they had some of their own walnut, which is the slabs you see here. There's actually a third one as well, which is going to be a headboard. I'm doing a video for that next. But anyway, they took the tree down. They didn't want to, but it was building a house and it was in the way. So it was removed and planked immediately. It was stored really well, and I said best thing would be to bring it to me as fast as you can, and then I can look after it over the next coming months and put it in and out the kiln as needed. Didn't need too long in the kiln. Really beautiful slabs, book matched as you can see. So one surprise was, and you get a picture of it later, quite major woodworm, but I had baked it in the kiln, so that's obviously killed it, and I treated it as you can see here with the woodworm treatment, and I left it for a few weeks and come back to it. So that's another reason to have the slabs, certainly if it's someone else's slabs, but if it's if it's my own stock, I spend a lot of time. This video is very, very short, but it is not done like this. Every time you remove some material, you leave it for a few days. Every time you treat it, you leave it, etc. So it's a long process. One thing I would like to mention is this anti-resin thing that some people have going on. Seems to be some of the comments I get, this is not woodworking, things like that. It's really strange, I find it, because I do regular joinery as well. But this is something that's kind of a specialist thing. And, looking at these two pieces of wood, if I give you a close-up in a minute, hopefully, you will see there's so many defects, knots and splits and stuff. It's only possible to make a piece of usable furniture out of these two slabs with the use of resin. English walnut, if you can buy it, which is very difficult to buy, is sold at around about 85% waste, because it just is not a clean wood. It's a very characterful wood, which lends itself for the use of resin to fill the defects, make it structurally sound, and allow us to use like 99.9% of this slab will be used. The only reason to cut some off is because it's too long. Regular joinery, the waste on wood is huge. So here's the little critter that came out dead. Not quite sure if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. So this is something slightly different. I'm keeping the live edge or waney edge, depending how you look at it. I'm putting this corking on first at the bottom. It actually seals it. So I do quite a lot of grinding. You've seen on other videos where I have to grind the resin off on the edge. Well, we're not having any resin on the edge here because it's got really nice waney edge. So I'm going to cork all around the bottom to seal it, and then I will make a mould just in case, because obviously resin goes everywhere. There's going to be a lot of resin. You can see here, look, the character is absolutely wonderful in this wood, but it is not structurally sound as a plank, and the whole sections in the middle, if you cut this, would just fall apart. So we agreed on some samples. That's what you see here. I sent them to the client, and now I will match those samples with the resin. So unlike some videos you may have seen on YouTube where they mix all this stuff up in one go and then big pour, dramatic pour, that is a way you can do it. I work on my own, and I find certainly with colours like this, which is very, very slight tin, if you do it in sections, you can get a much better idea of the colour, the overall colour, and not accidentally overload with, say, a black, which is that's what this is. Black can be really solid if you get it wrong. Okay, you're going to see in a second, I'll talk you through what's going on with this cure. This is Glass Cast 50 Plus, which is now my new main resin. I did do another video on it and there'll be more coming. I've managed to keep this wet, as in not curing or exotherming, for like 5 days, and we're looking at a 65 ml pour here, and there's something like 60 kilograms of resin gone in there. So this is interesting. This is day 2 of the pour. So, and look at that. Look how wet it still is. Still slightly getting thicker, but it's still really, really wet. That's 2 days now, which is really good. You can see it's completely clear. There's no bubbles. Sorry about the light that's reflecting. Here you go, that's better. Might just even top it up a little bit, just got a couple of mil there. So this is day 2, and there's no exothermic reaction whatsoever. The resin is as cold, or nearly as cold as the table. You can see here the wood going to the middle of the resin, just a little bit up. But the room is coming in at 14, if you can see there, 14.4, and that's what the resin is. So room temperature, almost bang on. Mate, absolutely amazing. Okay, so we do design and make every single part of the table, the steel bases or wooden bases, each one, no templates, each one is designed and laid out for the size and dimensions of the table. You can see here we're making it, and then we have it, depending, we do an aged finish ourselves or we take it to a powder coater. We've even got an outside one coming soon, which has been zinced and powder coated. There'll be a video coming on that. This one was an idea I come up with quite a while ago now, and it is without a doubt the most popular. It's kind of a spider X-frame, and the difference between ours and other ones you see is there's no center hub. So all of those big joints are like compound miter cuts. You can see Will cuts everything with an angle grinder by hand. You may find this helpful. What I tend to do is I go to each end of the jig and I clear out the full depth, maybe 3 or 4 times the width of the cutter I'm using, and that really helps, and then I can just go up and down and clear out, and you don't sort of block up at the end of the run. I don't want to talk all the way through the video on every bit of kit I use. There's so many videos we've uploaded, and there's information on all of the stuff if you're interested as you look through. Again, with the sanding, I do this over about 2 or 3 days. I don't just stand there all day long trying to get it in one hit. And also with the machining, when this goes through the big planer thicknesser, I take off a bit and then I leave it for a week or so just to see how it's going to stabilize, and then come back to it. Every time I remove any large amount of surface on wood, I let it sit to make sure it's going to stay stable. I always use a finishing sander at the end because it has a slightly different pattern on the 180 grit, and that really helps give you a nice even finish, and it's a much lighter machine to use. So we decided on this table with the client that this is going to be like a semi-matte finish. So I only go to 220 grit on the top, 180 on the bottom, and I'm using Heidelberg oil. Links in description. I think there's still a Wood discount code if you want to get some. It's a very, very hard, toy-safe, food-safe oil. I usually apply it with, as you can see here, like a green pad and a bit of a brush, and I've also got a polisher that I use to apply it as well. It's a really hard finish, absolutely superb, so easy to use. The key is not to get too much on the resin, because you do need to get it off the resin using it as a polish. It will soak into the wood, but it will not soak into resin, but it does act like a polish to give you that nice deep finish.
That's one of the best, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not dry yet. It's resin, but
I like the colour, it all matches as well, doesn't it?
yeah, it is one you are right. It's very best, and one of the best. And I think that I'm just talking to Dicount, but
Is it drying?
yeah, that's the first coat, like just done. Okay, so this has had a week and a half or nearly 2 weeks to cure with a hard wax oil, and the final stage is going to be the manor wood ceramic finish, and you just get one of these sponges with it and you can basically drip it into here and rub it in, or you can flick it on the table if you know what you're doing. Just flick it from the pot onto the table and then quickly rub off, and I've got a microfiber to go over and even it out. Shouldn't take long. As always, I'll be doing 2 coats of this. I'll leave this for about half an hour to cure, and then I'll hit it again with a second coat. Second coat goes on even easier because you've already got that kind of fine layer of ceramic on the piece. I'll do one side of the wood. You can see it really brings the grain out. I've purposely got quite harsh lighting in here so I can see any marks and scratches. We'll do the other side and we'll rub it both sides on the resin. I use it quite liberally. I'm selling these tables and I'm just going to get that extra protection. If it's for yourself and you just want to put a small amount on and maybe reapply it once in a while, the bottle will last for ages. It's a bit like French polishing, but much easier. Years ago I used to do French polishing on some of the restoration furniture, and it's quite a trick mixing up the garnet flake and the French polish. This stuff's even harder and so much easier to apply. That's given us a really good even finish now. Let's show you that. So one more coat of ceramic and we're done, ready to wrap up. That's what that bad boy's for. The delivery is Saturday, so I'll probably do the video next week. It's still wet from putting it inside the glove, so we've not wasted much ceramic at all. And now we're just going to reapply on the second coat. Okay, that's it. Simple as that. Done. Just take our clean cloth and we just go back over the bin and just level it off. Mainly the wood, pretty much, even though it's oiled, pretty much soaks it up. It's always the resin which shows any excess that you've left on there. So get right over it for a good light. This is a horrible light for showing clients their furniture when I finish, but it's a great light for me looking at any defects or bits you've missed or stuff like that. So very light with this cloth here. This is a microfiber, very light, and you can see with the shine that it's just removing any little lines or excesses. And we just go over that like that. And look at every angle just to see, get down and check the angles to see if you've missed anywhere, if there's any spots that look a bit drier. That looks really good. Check that with the light off. Can also be quite harsh, turning the light off in the workshop, funny enough, depending on your windows, if you've got any. That gives you a whole different look. Okay, that's really even. I'm not sure I can see. Not there. It's funny, but walnut is one of the harder woods to finish because it goes really hard grain, slightly softer grain, and then you've got all these holes and knots which are even sort of harder, in fact, around that knotted area. So it can be a harder wood to get the overall look on, overall sheen. You can just touch it with a sponge and little applicator anywhere you see, because it's still damp, and then just buff it and that's it, done. Fantastic, happy with that. So the ceramic's available on my website. Any questions, ask the comments on YouTube and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks so much as always for watching. See you on the next one. What was really cool when I delivered the table was that where they've built the house, where the table's positioned in the house is almost exactly where the tree was standing. The clients were really, really pleased with this. It was so exciting. I delivered it with Will. They were quite emotional. The tree meant a lot to them in the first place, and now they've got a table made of it. It was really, really nice. Lovely to see.